In this video, we're going to learn about using the integration withZywave's TurboRater. This method is different than our embedded Genesis Now and TurboRater solution. This is if you're using TurboRater standalone. Here, you're able to load quotes from TurboRater into Genesis Now that have been rated. So the first thing that you want to do is under your edit agency location for the client that you're going to rate or the client's policy that you're going to rate, you want to make sure your client belongs to that location. And over on the right hand side under integrated account, you're going to have TurboRater and you'll want to have an integration key. If you do not have your integration key, you can get this from Zywave, and also we will be able to help you get this from Zywave if needed. Once you have that integration key, you'll put that in and you'll click on Update. That's going to save your TurboRater integration key to the location, and that's the only piece of information that you need inside of Genesis Now. Now for the client, I'm going to rate here a personal auto policy. This is a personal auto policy with some made up information just for the purpose of this video. I'm going to click on, at the policy screen, the TurboRater button at the top. When I click this button, I have several options. I can look at previous quotes, and by looking at previous quotes, I can see all of the quotes that I have rated for this client and this policy. And I can also rate the policy. So what we'll do is, for the sake of this video, we're going to click on Rate Policy. And this is going to rate with TurboRater, and it's going to open up the TurboRater in another screen. If you have not logged in for the day, first you will get a Zywave login screen, and just log into that screen, and you won't have to log in until it expires, possibly the next day. Here in TurboRater, I'm going to have some orange fields that I need to fill out for this quote. So I will pause this video and fill out this quote. Now notice in Zywave TurboRater, I'm on the carrier question screen. So I've not yet finished rating my quote in TurboRater. But one thing that I find important, I'm going to go back to Genesis Now in my other tab for just a moment, and I'm going to click on Import Quote Information. And even highlighting it, it tells me complete rating your quote in TurboRater before importing your quote into Genesis Now. I'm going to click on this button, and it's going to say, are you sure? Make sure you have finished rating your quote in TurboRater. I'm going to click OK. And it's going to attempt to import the quote, but I'm actually going to get an error here, and it's going to say no rates were available to import from TurboRater. Make sure you have finished rating in TurboRater and that you received valid quotes. And that is the most important piece, that you received valid quotes or rates. So I'm going to go back to my tab with my TurboRater, and I'm going to go to the next screen, and I'm going to rate quote. I'm going to finish rating this particular quote. And what will happen here in this video is I'm only going to get one successful rate inside of TurboRater, and it's going to be this first company, this in-house auto test, and it has a premium of $195. So we'll look for that in a moment. These other ones, these are just situations where I don't have my credentials set up, some coverages, different things. So therefore, I did not receive any rates or payment plans from them, and they all say 0. So those will not come over. What I expect to come over in this video is this one for the in-house auto test with a $195 premium. So now, back over into Genesis Now, I'm going to click Import Quote Info. I'm going to click OK, and that's going to bring in my quote information. Now, if I happen to close this tab, that's okay if I don't need it anymore. But if I needed to see it again or bring that back up, since I brought this information in, I can click the button that says Bridge. And that's going to load that same quote back up in the tab. Back in Genesis Now, I have two options, and I find these to be the most important options in what you can do with this rate that has come back. And again, notice I only have in-house auto test, and that's because I did not get rates returned for those other companies. They were all zeros. So only the successful ones will show up here. This one, I'm going to click on Save to Policy. And by highlighting it, it will already tell me this will replace the current premium, term, company, and monthly payment amount on the existing policy. So when I click on Save to Policy, it's going to ask me, are you sure? I'm going to say OK. It's going to save to the policy, and actually saves to this screen here. So notice that premium, $195, we saw that in the TurboRater. So we get our premium, We get our total, our company pay plan. It's monthly, $22.60 as our payment amount and our dates. So this actually saves to the current policy that we are on. Now we also had an option whenever we were looking at that information that we brought in, we also had the option for rewrite. So I'm going to bring back up the TurboRater pop-up by clicking on the TurboRater button, and I'm going to click on previous quotes. Now here on my previous quotes, again, I will only have quotes for this client and this policy. So if I've not ran any quotes, I've not tried any quotes for this policy or this quote or this record, I will not have anything here. I can bridge to look at the information. I'm going to do the most recent one. That's going to be at the top. I'm going to bridge to take a look at it, and that's going to be the same one that we just finished. But what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to import this quote info. So I can actually import this. Maybe I had maybe I filled out some different information and I want to import the one before that, or I tried different quotes with different information. But for the sake of this video, I want to import the quote information back. And what we want to take a look at is where we had that option to rewrite policy. And if I hover over this button, it tells me this will create a new policy and cancel the existing policy. So I'm going to click on rewrite policy. Are you sure you want to rewrite? I'm going to say okay. It's going to rewrite the policy, and it's going to bring up the rewrite policy screen where I can fill out some information. But most importantly, premium, the company, in-house auto test, $195, our term 6 months, pay plan monthly, $22.60. So I'm going to save this, and it's going to save it to the policy, but it's actually a rewritten policy. Because if I go back and I take a look at the policy screen, then I have this one that was canceled. That's the canceled one after clicking rewrite. And then I have one here that is active for this company with a premium of $195, and that's the one that is the new one. So oftentimes if I rewrite and chose a new company, then it would be there as a new company, but I still have both records. All right, thank you.